Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. On this video I'm going to take a walk along the Leeds and Liverpool Canal from Shipley to Bingley Five Rise Locks, and I'm going to get into some industrial history for you today, so it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to talk about how the canal started and how important it was during the Industrial Revolution, and really get into some interesting history for you. So I'll set off on my journey now and let's get into some industrial history. Cheers. On the banks of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal were lots of warehouses storing things like wool, and during the industrial heyday, Leeds and Bradford were both really important industrial towns for the wool and cotton industries. You had big warehouses like this one just situated here, and I'll show you some more, and there's still some chimneys to look at on the banks of the canal as well. You know, there's still a lot of industrial heritage on this walk, and we're going to pass Salts Mill. So we're going to pass Salts Mill as well, so it's going to be really interesting. The Leeds-Liverpool Canal stretches across 127 miles, and it really did change the whole face of British industry really, and all types of important goods and raw materials were transported across the canal, including wool and coal, limestone, bricks, slate, all types of things really, and it played such an important role. And when the canal first opened, it was mainly limestone. So the canal played a really important role, and a horse could pull 5 tons of weight faster along canal water than it could pull 1 ton along the land, along roads. So it just shows, you know, it could pull 5 tons at a great speed, and it was cheaper and more cost effective. Civil engineers designed the Leeds-Liverpool Canal to be broad, to be wide, knowing that boats would get bigger in the future, and during the peak of the industrial heyday there would be hundreds of boats travelling up and down the Leeds-Liverpool Canal at any given time, delivering important materials across the north of England. So there we go, so there's a bit of history here. So the Kennet is a Leeds and Liverpool Canal short boat built in 1947 at Northwich for Canal Transport Limited, General Cargo Carriers. She was the last river class boat to be built. So there we go, Kennet. That's quite a nice surprise, is that? I've just found a little bench to sit on. I'm just going to take 5 now, have a little break, and it's really important to take a bottle of water with you when you have these little walks on canal and things, you know, just to refresh yourself and everything, you know, because obviously when you're on canals and things like that, there's not really many shops nearby and things like that, so I bought a packet of crisps and a bottle of water and just time me over for a walk, you know, and then I'll give it a couple of minutes and then I'll head off, carry on over to Bingley, Five Eyes Locks. As you walk along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, there's quite a few information signs about the history, which is quite good to read really. So there's some history here about Hurst Lock, so that's quite interesting, and there's also a sign mentioning that there's towpath improvements on the canal as well, which is great to see. So they're putting lots of effort into making it accessible for people. I love reading about history, and like I said, the more you read, the more you learn about really, and I've really thrown myself into history the last few years, and it's like a hobby for me. It's something to do in my spare time when I've got a day off work, something to focus on, and it's something really positive and proactive. So I'm making good progress now along the canal, and it shouldn't be long before I reach Bingley Five Eyes Locks. So I hope you're enjoying this video so far, and I just thought I'd make a nice history video because there's so many channels, there's so many videos on YouTube, and there's quite a few channels that I enjoy watching and things, but there's not that many that really put in the big efforts with the research and things like that. You know, you can watch videos and they're quite fun to watch at times, but you don't always learn so much. So at least, you know, when you watch this channel, and I do put quite a bit of effort in, and at least you come away afterwards feeling that you've learned something, you know, and it's quite rewarding. It's educational, it's historic, and that's what it's all about really, and I want people of all ages to really enjoy watching it and really encourage young people to learn about history. The canals were designed in very specific ways and have lots of special features and lots of bridges like the one just behind me, and yeah, the heavy loads were actually carried by pack horses. I'm just heading up past Dowley Gap Locks now, and feels like I've walked a lot further than I actually have, because when you're doing a vlog, it's very stop-start. The volunteers on the canal do an absolutely amazing job. I've just seen a gentleman there cutting the grass, and they really do put a lot of effort into the upkeep and maintaining the canal and keeping it looking nice. So I'm just stood up on the bridge now, and I want to try and show you all the different modes of transport, the evolution of transport. I just need a train. I've got the canal boat and I've got the motorway. Quite a nice shot that, so I got the canal boat, the train just veering off to the left together. So yeah, they're heading over towards Leeds. So yeah, it's quite good that really. I can't tell you how hard it is to get the train and the canal boat at the same time. I've tried that a few times and it's a little bit of hanging about, to be honest. The bypass is alright because it's frequent all the time, but the other part's a bit tough. So I'm just making my way up past Bingley three-rise locks now, and I just noticed an old ghost sign on that building there. I've never actually noticed that before. It just gives you a glimpse into yesteryear and what those businesses used to do, and obviously right next to Canal, that does make sense, you know, that it was an old goods depot. So yeah, that's pretty cool, is that actually? That's quite a good find today. So I can already see it in the distance, the Bingley Five Eyes locks, and it's really good doing a vlog on the canal, you know, because it's somewhere that's quiet and it's really quite peaceful and enjoyable. It's really hard sometimes doing a vlog in a busy town centre and things like that. I'm not too keen on it really, because I try and do it discreetly and try not to get people on it so much and things like that, and I'm quite careful really. So there we go, I'll just zoom in a bit. Wow, that's a good one there. Wow, that was a nice little zoom in there just to get all locks in there. And yeah, this is the, like I say, this is a jewel in the crown. This is what I've been looking forward to, and yeah, I'll show you Bingley Five Eyes locks in. So here we are. I've really been looking forward to this part of the walk, and I was just chatting to a nice gentleman there actually, and he was on one of the boats and they were doing a little bit of maintenance there, and yeah, it's I was just telling him about that sign. Oh, I've been past it so many times and never noticed that it used to be the good stepper, you know. I love things like that, you know. He was quite interested as well, and he said he's going to have a look later on when he goes past on boats, so. So here we are everybody, I'm at the famous Bingley Five Eyes locks, and I've really got to have a lot of concentration now for this vlog, because when you're walking and talking and you're doing a vlog and you're next to these really high locks, and this is actually the tallest staircase in the UK, and yeah, so I'll take it nice and steady, because you know, one little mishap when I get into my rhythm and I'm talking and you know, so I've actually arrived just at the right time really, and I can just show you a little bit and demonstrate how the canal boat travels down the locks. So I think it's just about to go down the final lock actually, so yeah, I couldn't have timed this much better really. So you can see just behind me that the water's starting to get into quite a strong flow now, and the process is really getting into action, so it's really interesting. I didn't actually expect to see it firsthand today, but it just makes the video even better really, because it just demonstrates how it works, you know, so it's perfect. So they're just opening up the locks now. So the men have just opened up the locks. It's quite amazing to actually see it happening in front of your eyes. I'm just going to go a little bit of a distance now just to respect the process and everything, because you know it is complex, and any little distraction, do it discreetly and just stay at a safe distance. So I'm just standing right over at the fence now, and I hope you're enjoying this. You know, I think it's absolutely fascinating, and it's one of the greatest ever engineering accomplishments in the world. You know, it's such a incredible piece of history really, and it was just pure ingenuity and persistence, perseverance really. You know, imagine constructing this in the 1770s. Absolutely amazing. Everything was handmade, you know, man-made, none of the modern things that we have today. So yeah, it really is something quite brilliant. So you can just see there that the boat's just dropped down a level, and this was the brainchild of Mr. John Longbotham, who was the chief engineer on the Leeds Liverpool Canal, and he had a vision, you know, and he was so forward thinking. It's amazing, you know, what he designed here, his idea and everything, and it's still going. 250 years later, that process is still happening, and it's even pretty much nearly all the original stone as well, stonework. So yeah, it's magnificent to come and see. Just think how many boats have passed through here in just over 250 years. You know, how much industry has passed through Bingley, Five Eyes locks, all those different types of industry, and it's amazing, you know, coal, limestone, wool, cotton, and it's brilliant that it's still going strong today, and it's still got such an important role to play in modern times. And there we go, it's passed through the Five Eyes lock successfully to continue onwards with its journey. What a fantastic job the lock keepers do. You know, it really is a complex system, is the Five Eyes locks. You know, it's not easy to do. It's really, really complex. So yeah, that really was brilliant. you know, it's worthy of a whole video in itself, has been 5 rise locks, to tell you the truth. And I know I didn't manage to arrive in time to capture the whole protest, the whole 5 locks, but at least I got some of it. And you know, it just shows that with the right sort of persistence, you know, the right ideas, and it's quite inspiring, to be honest with you. You know, I think whatever project you're involved in, if you're in the middle of a project and you're getting a bit disillusioned with it and you're not sure whether it's going to work, just come and see the Bingley 5 rise locks behind me, because it will inspire you. And if that was possible to construct that without all the modern things what we have today, and just using the hands, you know, man-made, hand labour, pen and paper to come up with alt plans, and yeah, if they could do that, then I think anything's possible in 2025, to tell you the truth. So yeah, if you're struggling with any projects, keep going, because I'm sure that John Longbottom and the rest of his team went through tough stages and thought it would never happen, but do you know what? It's brilliant that it did happen, and it's one of the best feats of engineering you can ever see, to be honest. If you come and see this, honestly, you won't be disappointed. It's one thing what we do well, and in the 17 and 1800s there was no such thing really as I can't build it and it won't work. You know, they would build it and it will work. That were the motto, that were the attitude, and that's what saw them through those tough times. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care, everybody. See ya.